Good afternoon, you eight. Welcome to a lesson on Malcolm Macduff, and you're going to be doing some persuasive writing, taking on the persona of one or other of those people. So the learning objective is to explore persuasive writing through Malcolm and Macduff. The title is Malcolm, Macduff and Persuasive Writing. You're going to need a pen, your exercise book, and your copy of Macbeth, although you can do the lesson without your copy of Macbeth if you don't have it. So get the title in, underlined, and so on, then on to the next slide. Right, can you remember how to write persuasively? Write a list of techniques you would use if persuading someone to join the army. There's a big hint at the bottom there. There's an acronym. Each one of those letters stands for something. That's what an acronym is. And each one of those stands for a type of, a technique that you can use in persuasive writing. So spend 5 minutes listing those down, then on to the next slide. And here they all are. Direct address, that's a technical term for that, is the second person. When you write something like you must do this, if you do this, if you use you, that's the second person or direct address. Alliteration or anecdote. Alliteration is when you have two or more words that start with the same letter. The brown ball bounced beautifully would be alliteration. It's not that persuasive a technique really. You only use it if you're using it for effect. It turns up in English a lot, alliteration. A more powerful one that begins with A is anecdote, which is a short personal story that the speaker says that helps make their point. So, for example, you're going to be writing a speech about joining the army. So if you were to say, yes, my brother joined the army and it was wonderful for him, he got a career and so on and so forth, that's making it personal. A fact is simply that, you'd be making those up. An opinion is your opinion in support of your point. Rhetorical questions and repetition. Why don't you join the army? It's a wonderful way to spend your life. Repetition, you all know what that is. Emotional language, emotive language, statistics and short sentences for effect. Statistics, as you know, I'm sure, are simply facts that are numbers. A tricolon, which is a list of 3 things. It was amazing, it was beautiful, it was wonderful. That would be a tricolon. There are other devices that you can use. I'm sure that you've listed some. If you haven't got all of these, make sure that you've got these written down. So, Act 4, Scene 3. How is Macbeth viewed by others? What do these quotations suggest about Macbeth? Pick at least 3 to explore. And here are the 3 that I've chosen to explore. Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth. Alliteration there to enhance the evil image of Macbeth who is linked to the devil. Horrid hell, I mean, that's clearly been done for effect. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. Personification of the country, personification where you give something that isn't human qualities. As a woman who is suffering under Macbeth's control, weep and bleed are verbs showing pain, also emphasised by the metaphor of wounds. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy Houghton days again? Tyrant, showing Macbeth as a leader who is cruel and oppressive. His sceptre, which is a symbol of power, is bloodied, suggesting his power has been spoiled or gained unfairly. The nation is again personified as miserable. Right, the time for action. How can they raise an army against Macbeth? So Ross tells Malcolm and Macduff that they are needed back in Scotland. Now is a time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight, to doff their dire distresses. Why are Malcolm and Macduff the right men to lead this rebellion? Write at least 2 reasons for each. And here's my take on that underneath. Malcolm is the rightful heir. He's also seeking revenge for the murder of his father. Macduff is seeking revenge for the murder of his innocent wife and children. He is also a loyal subject of the true king and loves his country enough to test Malcolm's right to kingship, which we looked at in our previous lesson. He wants to make sure that the right king is leading Scotland. Now, your task is to be either Malcolm or Macduff. You're going to take on their So now you're going to write a persuasive speech from the perspective of one of these characters, encouraging other men in Scotland to join your army. Imagine that this speech is delivered in each village you travel through on the way to Macbeth's castle. Refer to your list of Daft Forest devices, the persuasive devices, and reasons why the character would be a good person to lead to help you think of things they might mention in their speech. When you've written your speech, upload it to class charts. So we've had a little brief introduction there. So you've got about 40 minutes to write that speech. So I would expect at least half a page. Some of you are going to do significantly more than that. So do the speech, upload it to class charts, and I will speak to you again soon. Thanks, Ray.